Hey, my name is Cosmic Ghost Rider, and you're watching Slayer of Gods channel. This guide will show you how to play the one, the only Shocker! If this is helpful, make sure to press like and subscribe. Did you know that less than 1% of Earth's population is subscribed to my channel? Crazy, right? Please help me fix that. Thank you. Without further ado, let's get talking about Shocker! The footage in this video will showcase a 5-star rank 5 and a 6-star rank 3, both signature level 20, to keep things at least semi-realistic. Shocker, aka Tech Quake, is a relatively easy champion to pick up. His kit is rather simple, with nice little pieces of utility such as an immunity to shock and concussion, and reducing incoming stun duration by 50%. Additionally, he removes the Limber Mastery from the opponent if it's active, making him an even better contender for Battlegrounds. On top of this, Shocker cannot land critical hits, but all of his attacks do have armor penetration equal to his critical rating. He does have a few other tools, but we'll touch on those a bit later. As for his offensive capabilities, Shocker focuses on a singular strike on his heavy attack to unleash massive damage, a big white number if you will. When striking with, or being struck by a light or medium attack, Shocker gains 1 Vibro Shock charge, up to 100 at maximum. Vibro Shock charges are essentially the currency of Shocker's kit and his main source of damage. Each Vibro Shock charge essentially increases the attack rating of the final hit of Shocker's heavy attack. For 5-star rank 5, it's plus 2,346 attack. I want to note that this is plus 2,346 attack per Vibro Shock charge. I want you to look at Shocker's base attack rating. Now look at this attack rating gain per charge, and you can have up to 100 of these. That's a decent amount of attack rating, I guess. Nothing too crazy, right? You might be thinking, okay, but I'm gonna have to land 100 hits before I can deal ridiculous damage. And that's before I told you this dude's special 1 grants him 25 Vibro Shock charges. So, a couple special ones, and if you're not at 100 charges, you're pretty close by the time you start getting your damage in. So, you've launched a couple special ones. What do you do at this point? You want to launch special 2, since the final hit will inflict a passive stun and a passive physical vulnerability, which last based on the amount of charges that you have. Since the opponent is stunned for a very long time at this point because you launched 2 special ones, you want to hold the right side of your screen so Shocker can charge the Kamehameha. Charging your heavy attack will consume a Vibro Shock charge every 0.05 seconds, and will increase your attack rating by a lot on the final hit. You might be looking at this damage right now and going, wait, holy f***. So, okay, for short fights, you basically want to do special 1, special 2, and then Kamehameha. You could also probably get away with special 1, special 2, Kamehameha in some fights. It really just depends on how much damage you want. Longer fights is where you'll want to use Shocker's special 3, since it grants you an Energize, increasing your combat power rating by 100% until you reach special 2. And while this Energize is active, your Vibro Shock charge max is increased to 150. So, for longer fights, I would say combo the opponent until you reach special 3, launch special 3, and then launch a bunch of special ones by taking advantage of the Energize. Then, once you're at or close to 150 charges, reach and launch your special 2. Since the opponent is stunned from special 2, you can sit there and charge the heavy attack to unleash the Spirit Bomb in this case, and end all life within 17 miles of your current location.
Please offer me your energy. I ask of you, please!
So those are briefly summed up to be the two basic rotations. On top of all this information, there are a few pretty important caveats I do really need to mention. So for one, the passive stun from Shocker's Special 2 may last a long time, but it will expire as soon as you land 3 hits. This is obviously by design to prevent players from stun locking, which makes a lot of sense. So your heavy attack is 2 hits, that gives you 1 more hit. I would say if you want to, if you want to be a little bit extra funny or whatever, you can build just under Special 3, launch your Special 2, then you can do your heavy attack, and then the heavy attack will actually push you over Special 1, and you can throw a Special 1 in the opponent's face after you do a lot of damage if they somehow survive. I don't know, it's a little bit quirky, alright? Now, the passive stun and physical vulnerability from the Special 2 are also unaffected by ability accuracy, which I guess you could say is a good or a bad thing, probably more of a good thing. As for the Special 1, there is a 1% chance per Vibro Shock charge to inflict stun. There's a 10-second cooldown, but it's nice to give you more attacks and gain more Vibro Shock charges. Additionally, at 50 or more charges, the Special 1 is passively unblockable, which is nice. On medium attacks, each Vibro Shock charge has a plus 2% chance to remove an opponent's prowess, maxing at a 100% chance, and mediums have a plus 0.50% chance to inflict a stun debuff, maxing out at a 25% chance, so these stuns do be laying in thick, especially when, like I mentioned before, he will remove the Limber Mastery from the opponent if it is active. This one is more of a defensive ability, but at 50 or more Vibro Shock charges, if Shocker would be struck by a special attack, he does consume 25 charges to auto-block the rest of the special. A solid safety net on offense, and an annoyance on defense. I wonder how many times I've said shock in this video already. Okay, so at 50 or more Vibro Shock charges, Shocker becomes passively unblockable while dashing forward. If this dash breaks the opponent's block, he does consume 20 charges. Honestly, I do not like this ability at all because it essentially punishes his ramp up by costing him charges, and it causes you to play more stagnant by not impulsively dashing towards your opponent. If you try to go for an intercept, you may be dashing into the opponent's block and costing yourself 20 Vibro Shock charges instead. Also, if Shocker is struck while unblockable, 50 Vibro Shock charges are removed, so I guess don't get intercepted. Shocker's signature ability allows him to ramp up much faster against mutants, or really anyone with prowess, granting him 3 Vibro Shock charges when the opponent gains a prowess, and when he's stunned, which makes him more annoying to fight. Additionally, each signature level allows his Special 1 to cost a little bit less power, which helps him ramp up a little bit, which, is nice. As for synergies, none of them are essential for Shocker, and masteries, I wouldn't run Recoil purely because he launches a lot of Special 1s, but you could probably make it work. As a Cosmic Ghost Rider player, I place a lot of value in Petrify, and I think it does help Shocker out a bit by reducing the amount of power the opponent gains while they're stunned, but not really necessary. Overall, I do think Shocker is a pretty well-rounded champion. He doesn't have as much utility as I'd like, but his damage is pretty unique, being that it's all super focused on one hit, which could be a weakness as much as it's a strength in other places, I would think. I haven't really done a CCP champion review before, so I'm not sure what else I'm supposed to say. I think if I had to give him a rating, I'd say like a 9.3 out of 10. He seems really solid and definitely gonna have a place in short bursty content like Battlegrounds, maybe some Alliance War, stuff like that. Another thing I really do like is that you can kind of gauge how much damage you're getting per Vibro Shock charge. It's just nice to kind of have an idea in the fight and have that guaranteed amount of damage. Once you play him enough, I think you're gonna understand how much damage you get from what, Alright, that is it from me. Let me know what you think of Shocker, and if you enjoyed or if this was helpful at all, please do me a favor by gently pressing those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely outstanding day. Take care, and farewell.